The first of the semifinals will see co-host Sri Lanka face New Zealand. It's a repeat of the 2007 when the teams met at the same stage. That day Sri Lanka came out on top and they're the favourites to win Tuesday's match. Rahul Pathak reports from Colombo.
For most Sri Lankans, this is where their cricket education begins. The beach is where the likes of Lasith Malinga and Tilakaratne Dilshan honed their skills which have helped bring their team to the verge of another World Cup final. Well, things are certainly looking good for Sri Lankan cricket at the moment. The team regularly reach the latter stages of international competitions these days. They're on the verge of reaching their second successive World Cup final, of course, and they won this World Cup back in 1996. Not bad for a country that only achieved Test status back in 1982, and for a nation that only recently ended a bloody civil war in 2009. Sidath Wettimuny was part of the generation that saw Sri Lanka make the switch from associate to Test nation. He scored his country's first ever Test century and has seen the team develop from minnows to cricket superpower.
It was just the lack of exposure that held us back, and once we got exposure, once we got Test status, it was a matter of time that we would become a threat in world cricket.
Once again, Sri Lanka faced New Zealand in a World Cup semi-final, and once again, most of the attention has been focused on Matthiya Muralitharan, or more precisely his hamstring. The Sri Lankans desperate to patch up their ageing off-spinner for possibly his last hurrah. And while the nation expects a home victory, the captain insists they're not looking past Tuesday's game.
Well, there's no room for complacency at all. There's no chance of that happening in anyone's minds, because you understand the gravity of the situation, you understand the challenge that's going to come our way, and you've got to accept it and you've got to enjoy it.
Their opponents, New Zealand, have a habit of upsetting the form book, just ask South Africa. But they'll also have poor memories of Sri Lanka, having lost to them in the group stages and in the last four back in 2007.
Hopefully our recent experience at ICC tournaments with the Champions Trophy, we went one step further and made the final against Australia in the South African tournament, so we can look on that, and hopefully that's a starting point for going past the semis.
The Kiwis have never been past this stage before, having reached the semi-finals 5 times. If they can make it 6th time lucky, it'll have to go down as one of the upsets of this World Cup. Rahul Pathak, Al Jazeera, Colombo.